I want to tell you something about the restoration of the life and death of Colonel Blimp. It was restored digitally because it was shot with the big Technicolor camera, so big that the director Michael Powell and his crew called it the Enchanted Cottage. But they did wonderful, amazing things with that big camera. And it was so big because inside the camera were 3 separate strips of negative, each strip capturing a black and white record of 3 different colors: red, green, and blue. These black and white records were used to make matrices, raised sections, sort of like a rubber stamp for each of the 3 colors. Then color dyes were applied to these raised sections: red for the red record, yellow for the yellow record, and blue for the blue record. The strips were then printed one after another and registered to make prints for the theaters, very much like the process that's used to print newspapers. This is why the color in Technicolor is so powerful, amazing, and lasts for so long, the use of actual color dyes. For the restoration, of course, all 3 strips of negative had to be restored, which meant 3 times the work. Each of the 3 color records could shrink over the years at a different rate, causing a blurring of the image, like when you see a newspaper sort of misprinted. And so it became necessary to use digital tools to register those 3 strips so they would line up perfectly. This clip reel will show you how the restoration was done. You will see here an approximation of how the 3 black and white records are printed with dyes onto one piece of film. You will also see the damage to the negative caused by mold, which was eating away at the emulsion. Once the mold had been cleaned off, fissures and cracks it had created needed to be erased digitally, frame by frame. We'll be showing you before the restoration and after restoration comparisons. Here you see the damaged negative, and now how the restoration brought the film alive again. The damage you see next was something new to archivists, nicknamed the Xerox effect. It resulted in a green band moving up and down the frame, making elimination of this band very, very difficult. So the solution was to use wet gauge scanning of the original negatives, which allows the highest quality picture.
I'm afraid he can't come.
And minimizes the use of image-altering digital enhancements.
Why?
He's a prisoner, sir.
What's going on here?
Invasion, sir.
But you damned young idiot, war starts at midnight.
The film was scanned at 4K resolution, and the long process of addressing over 500,000 frames of film began.
Then, Mr. Candy, you are Livingston, I presume?
Dirt and scratches were removed. Mottled color and flickering caused by bad processing and chemical staining were addressed. Pops and clicks were removed from the soundtrack. And the 3 strips of original negative were brought into registration, giving a crisp, fresh look to the film. It was an enormous job. The restoration was supervised by Michael Porgazelski and Heather Linville of the Academy Film Archive. Sean Belston contributed his technical expertise. The film was scanned at .360. Reliance Media Works undertook the painstaking digital picture restoration, and Warner Brothers Motion Picture Imaging's Ray Grabowski performed the digital color correction. The soundtrack was restored by Audio Mechanics. The restoration was done in association with the BFI and the film rights holders ITV Studios Global Entertainment Limited. When the Film Foundation takes on these major restorations, they cannot be done without support from individuals and organizations who donate the much-needed funding. In the case of the life and death of Colonel Blimp, this support came from 3 organizations: Cinema per Roma Foundation, the Louis B. Mayer Foundation, special thanks to Robert Gottlieb, and the Material World Foundation, special thanks to Olivia Harrison. This restoration would have been impossible without them, and I'm so deeply grateful.